Have you ever stopped to wonder what's really driving you? I mean, what's the actual force behind your thoughts, your senses, your very breath? Turns out these are not new questions. For literally thousands of years, these ancient texts from India called the Upanishads have been exploring the deepest mysteries of human consciousness. And today, we're going to dive right into some of their answers.
So, the Kena Upanishad just clicks right to the chase with this incredible question. It's not asking about what's happening out there in the world, it's asking what's happening in here. Who or what is the charioteer driving your mind? That's the question, right? And that's exactly what starts our whole journey inward.
Okay, so let's really dig into this mystery because it's a big one. The Upanishads point out something totally fascinating. Our senses, our sight, our hearing, even our breath, they don't really seem to be in charge of themselves, do they? They're kind of like instruments in an orchestra. But who's the musician? Who's conducting the whole thing? What's the power directing our life force and our thoughts? And the ancient thinkers were really clear about this. They said we can all feel this guiding power if we pay attention. I mean, think about it. Your will forms your speech. Your breath pushes it out. But it feels like they're both working for something else, right? Like there's a silent master behind the scenes, a hidden power that's the real source of everything we think and say and do.
So, okay, what is this power? I mean, the obvious first guess has to be our own mind, right? It really feels like the command center, the core of who we are. But this is where the Upanishads challenge us to look a little closer and to ask, is the mind really the one in charge? Or is it also just taking orders from something else?
Now, this is where things get really interesting. It's a total shift in perspective. We usually think of the mind as being separate from the senses, right? It's the thinker behind the scenes. But ancient Indian psychology had this completely different take. They saw the mind as the supreme sense organ itself, the one that actually makes all the others work. And you have totally experienced this, I guarantee it, right? You can be staring straight at something, but if your mind is a million miles away, you don't actually see it. Your eyes might be taking in the light, sure, but it's the mind that does the real perceiving. Without the mind's attention, the other senses are pretty much switched off. Okay, but here's the big catch. For all its incredible power, the mind has this huge blind spot. It can't turn around and see the source of its own energy. It's like an eyeball that can't see itself. The key takeaway here is that your mind, as powerful as it is a tool. It's not the ultimate master. And there's a fantastic old story that makes this crystal clear. So in this story from the Kena Upanishad, this mysterious spirit just appears out of nowhere, and the gods, being all confident in their powers, they try to figure out what it is. First up is Agni, the god of fire and willpower. He can't even burn a single blade of grass that the spirit puts in front of him. No way. Then comes Vayu, the god of wind and life force. He can't even budge it. Finally, Indra, the king of the gods, who represents the power of the mind itself. He approaches, but just as he gets close, poof, the spirit vanishes. The lesson couldn't be clearer. The ultimate truth can't be grasped by will or by life force or even by our sharpest tool, the mind. It's just beyond all of them. So if the mind can't grasp it, then what can? This leads us to this incredible teaching from another text, the Kena Upanishad, and it offers something like a map, a ladder of consciousness that exists inside every single one of us. So let's take a look at how it's structured. Okay, check out this hierarchy. At the very bottom, you've got the senses. Climb a rung higher and you get to the mind. Above the mind is the intellect, our ability to reason and understand. Higher still is what they call the great self, which is this wider, more expansive state of being. Beyond that, the unmanifest, the silent source of, well, everything. And then at the very, very top, you have the Purusha, the absolute, the ultimate reality. The Upanishads are basically saying, this is the peak we're all trying to climb toward. Now, once you know this ladder even exists, you're faced with a fundamental choice. It's a choice that really defines the whole spiritual path. And it's captured perfectly in the story of this young boy, Nachiketas, who literally had the courage to question death itself. So the story goes, Death is so impressed with this kid that he offers him anything he could possibly desire. Wealth, power, a super long life, literally any pleasure you can imagine. But Nachiketas, he has the wisdom to see right through it all. He sees that it's all just fleeting. He turns down every single offer and insists on knowing just one thing, the truth about what lies beyond death, the truth of the self. And so death explains that there are two paths in front of every single person, the path of the good and the path of the pleasant. The wise person, like Nachiketas, can tell the difference and chooses the good, which leads to lasting truth. But someone who's only focused on immediate gratification, well, they choose the pleasant. And as the text warns, they fall from the true aim of life.
And this brings us right to the ultimate goal of this entire journey. Because, you see, it's not just about intellectually understanding these ideas. That's not the point. The real aim is a complete transformation of your entire being. It's about moving beyond simply knowing something and into a state of actually becoming it. The Upanishads have this beautiful name for this ultimate reality, Tadvanam. It translates to the transcendent delight. And this isn't some empty, cold void. It's a state of pure, self-sustaining joy, what they call ananda, or just bliss. The whole idea is that this state of bliss is the very source of all existence, and our goal is to get back to it.
And this is such a key distinction to make. Immortality, in this way of thinking, isn't about your body living forever. Not at all. It's about being released from the limitations of our day-to-day mortal experience. It's about realizing that transcendent delight so completely, so totally, that you actually merge with it. You become one with the absolute.
This powerful line from the Kena Upanishad it sums it all up perfectly. The knowing it's talking about here isn't just information in your head. It's a direct, life-altering realization. It's a kind of knowing that fundamentally changes who and what you are, releasing you into a state that's beyond birth and death. So, we're going to end right where we began, really, with a question for you. If the deepest truth about who you are isn't something to be learned, but something to be realized and experienced, then the real question is, what's waiting for you on the other side of your own thoughts? What lies beyond the limits of your mind?